G'day, I am Simulated Oak, and welcome to episode 44 of Simulated Oak Train Simulator. Pulling an all-nighter tonight at Simulated Oak headquarters, Oak Tower, Simulated Oak studio, call it what you will. Pulling an all-nighter as I am preparing to do night shifts at my actual place of employment. Now, this video, the video before and the video before that really run in some sort of series. First episode features basically an unbranded train, and we took that for a test drive. We took that from London King's Cross, and we took that up the East Coast Main Line. In the next episode, we featured the same route but in reverse, so from Peterborough to London King's Cross, but we were in a LNER Azuma branded train. Now this train is from TransPennine Express. It's basically the same train, but in a different skin, and I'll have a link in the show notes for this particular skin if you would like to download it for yourself. This one was very easy to install, which was fantastic. We're featuring this one, and also we're featuring a new franchise, Avanti, for the West Coast Main Line, which has only recently basically just been announced in the UK, and just in the transition period. Relatively new operator, all using the Class 800 801 model, but with different skins. And I'll have links on the show notes at simulatedogaming.com and also in the description below this video. So I couldn't necessarily easily find the line that these trains would necessarily run on. So we are on the High Speed Line between London St Pancras and Faversham. Now the train in the background there, the dark blue one, is the train that would normally run on this line, but for the purposes of showing off the skins, both for this one and the West Coast one in the second half of the episode, we're going to basically run in foreign territory, so to speak. So nothing really should have changed inside the cab. We'll turn the cab lights on. We'll have a look inside the cab. Probably not much different. Oh, so they've gone back to the default no image expected here, compared to what happened on the LNER version last time. So we'll go out and we'll have a quick look at the train, designated as the Class 802 by TransPennine Express. So we'll go backwards. Have a look at the train there. Passengers on board. That we haven't programmed any destinations in. This is just in quick drive, so nothing will necessarily appear. Let's get into the cab. I can hear a helicopter up there somewhere. Helicopter simulator. So let's get ready to go. Now the main purpose of this is to show you the skin. Now you really got to know what you're looking for with these various skins. The Free skins that have been featured over this episode and the previous episode, you have to download off other websites. You can't actually find them within Train Simulator itself. So 25 miles an hour coming out of St Pancras. So slow speed to start. Slow speed to start. We'll get into a high speed section and then we'll have an exterior look of the train. Miles an hour coming up over here. We're heading to Faversham. So that's in 50 miles time. Just over an hour. Going to be that much driving, but we may need to indeed hold off the upper train until the next episode, although we might not go the whole way. We'll see how we go. Coming up very shortly. A lot of tunnel to avoid the streets and area of London, and it's very hard. Now we can go up 140. Maxwell, he's the one you want to touch. It's so hard to get in and out of London by train in terms of like establishing a new line. You basically have to do what this line's done, what Crossrail is doing when it eventually opens. Should have been open well and truly by now, but it still isn't. So this is basically the way, tunnel is the way to get out of London by train. If you want to build a new track. So that's basically what's happening at the moment. High speed line. Part of a growing network of high speed lines either under construction or proposed for the UK. 140 miles an hour coming up as past time between. Don't necessarily get the feeling of speed. Doesn't feel like we're doing 130 miles an hour. Then again, I think that would have been 2014 when I was out and about in Europe, that I would have actual train, but because of not being on this computer for a long time, not playing Train Simulator for a long time, setting up a new simulator studio, and I was looking around YouTube, I thought, that's what I need to. I need to find that skin, and I need to install it, and I've done that. I will get this overnight section that I've done, basically recorded 3 episodes in a row of different things, mainly different skins in the trains. So I just want to get into an open section. Maybe I should come from Faversham, because there's actually not a lot to show you at the moment of the actual train going really happens. So you can't see that. Can't see that happens. So I'm just very miles at the moment. But we'll give this a decent go. 138. This will work. So I headed to the main Eurostar station in Paris, and I didn't do a lot of research about it, but I went there and I knew that I had to basically pass from France to England. Now the way that it could work is that go through the border protection and all the border checkpoints when you leave Paris and when you arrive in London. But the Eurostar, they do it slightly differently. So what happens? You arrive at the main Paris terminal. You go through the exiting France, exiting Paris, exiting the EU. This is well and truly before Brexit and everything that went on with that. So I had to show my passport and go through all the questions and everything and get a stamp to say that I am leaving the EU. So get that stamped by French border protection. Then you walk about 100 metres and then you hit UK border protection. So you get your passport stamped and the welcoming questions to say, hey, you are now trying to enter the UK, even though of course you're still in Paris and you're still in France. Oh, double decker buses. So it was interesting that 1 second, technically I'm in France, now I've left no man's land for about 100 metres or so, and then I've officially entered the UK, even though I'm still in Paris. And on the UK side, they had the. Oh, I better go back into the cab for a second because the walls don't help. No, this view will have to do for the moment. Unless I can somehow adjust. That's not bad. That's not bad. So you answer all the questions about why you entered the UK, you filled your customs form and all of that sort of stuff. I'll go back to the time for the moment. So you fill in the customs form and on the form it says what's your occupation, so I wrote trade run. So the UK Border Protection Officer says to me now it's 150. A little bit bumpy. The UK Border Protection Officer says to me, knowing that I'm just going to get on the Eurostar and that I've written on my form train driver, he says to me, really like to have a go at this. Reckon they might give you a drive? Now, at the time, I was driving the equivalent of tube trains in London. Well, because I haven't been paying attention, we dropped it to 60 mile an hour, and now the train's starting to beep at me because I'm going too hot. And the train's slowing down, making all sorts of noises because I haven't been watching the speed. And if there's anything I have to actually do is there, apart from slow down. Oh, it's applied the brakes because I was going way too fast. So I just got to wait for the train to slow down. This is a service brake intervention. Because I wasn't paying attention, I was too worried about telling the story. So the British Border Protection Officer, okay, is there something that I need to press to get rid of that alarm? AWS acknowledge. Why am I going backwards? Now, AWS acknowledge. Doesn't help that I'm running this train out of its territory, so some of the signaling may not apply. Send me backwards again. Oh, this is not good. Hey, why am I going backwards? Am I going the right way? This is very, very strange. Has that cab noise at least gone quiet? No. Acknowledge. Let me see. Is there anything flashing and that's immediately obvious? that buzzing noise, otherwise I'm not going anywhere. To Mr. Hitting AWS acknowledge should stop that noise. Because there's nothing else really that seems to be pushable. Safety system isolated. I'll just hold the pan graph and I'll put it back up. So what safety system did they isolate on me? AWS acknowledge. HTTP acknowledge. Driver safety system override. This isn't good. That's what happens when you tell stories rather than concentrating on driving. What I'll do, I'll get out of the cab. We'll have one last look at this because I'm going to finish this story and then I'm going to get into the other train. I'll get there eventually. Oh, the sun's just coming up and it's coming through the studio window. This is freaky. I'll get there. Border Protection Officer says to me from the UK, I'm just about to get onto the Eurostar, and he says to me, I'll bet you mine wouldn't having a go. At this stage, I'm driving the equivalent of tube trains in the underground. I says, I don't think they'll let me. I'm just quite happy to be a passenger. I don't drive trains that fast. And so I got in the train, had a nice ride. Didn't, you don't necessarily try and interact with the train crew when you're in a foreign country or whatever. I just like being a passenger, that sort of thing. I'm sure that the driver probably would have been quite okay if I was to have a chat, but yeah, I was just quite happy just to sit on the train and have a nice ride and enjoy the countryside. Anywho, we'll be back in a moment with some more train simulator action, and we're about to feature some real life trains that are a little bit more familiar to me. I'm Simulator Deck, back soon.
I actually had to walk up to the door switch, and when I walked up to the door switch, look at this, it's highlighted. So if I walk backwards, what I was trying to do for 7 minutes was try and use it from back here, and just like a laser pointer, just go, okay, zip, bing, I want to open that door. But what I have to do, and it's a lesson I'll never forget in this game, you actually have to walk up to stuff and go, hey, you're a door switch. Doesn't matter where you press the left hand button, function selection, sign off job, not yet, feature hasn't been unlocked yet. Later you'll be able to sign off a finished job and move the bus to the testing bay and back using the door switch. Close this dialog box. So it didn't even want me to open the it just wanted to show me how to do it, but I just spent a good 10 minutes thinking that it wanted me to open the door, and then it says, later you'll be able to sign off a finished job and move the bus to the testing bay and back using the door switch. Close this dialog box. Welcome back to Simulated Train Simulator, and I hope you have enjoyed that little bit of snippet of a little bit of real life, something a little bit closer to me rather than being in Faversham, south of London. Now we're looking at the second reskin that I am featuring on this episode. Links in the show notes and also on the YouTube description. SimulatoredEarthGaming.com and Simulated Earth on YouTube. This is the same train that we were driving a little bit earlier on in the episode, but a different skin. Avanti West Coast, they are a relatively new franchise in the UK, and so we're going to go from Faversham head towards London St Pancras. Really should have probably started the episode at this end rather than at the St Pancras end, but we'll see what happens. So, having a look at our driver here, turn our headlights on, there's our driver. Hello mate, how you doing? So we'll have a look down the train. So Avanti have basically gone with mainly white carriages and just different colours at the at either end. Now we're a bit long for this platform, but this isn't where these trains normally operate, so that's fine. Let's have a look at the back end there. Signal box, beautiful. Let's get in the cab. A little bit of horn. Okay, so we're going to load some passengers too. Now let's see. Does it open the doors there? No. Oh, okay, so it's only open the doors that are actually at the platform. Yeah, so we'll wait for the doors to close. There we go. We'll give a little bit of horn. Jump in the cab. And we'll show some caution. 15 miles an hour. Out of here. The train, when I loaded the scenario, started here. I promise we're going to do some scenarios, and on the next episode too. We're not going to be anywhere in the UK, I promise you that. But as I mentioned, I just wanted to show off these skins. They were all free downloads, so no money required, which is great. There's a lot of people out there very talented with things such as doing reskinning and all of that sort of stuff. There's a lot of people who are just happy to pay for and download what they can off the out of the train simulator shop
via the game, via Steam, and they're quite happy to do that. I usually am, but you can't get these there. And I do know my way around my computer. I do know how to modify games and all that sort of stuff, add skins, etc. So I'm happy to do it on this occasion. Normally I just download things from the pay for and download things by the store, but the skins here are good. There's something different, so I wanted to do that. So green signals ahead, which is good for us, into a 60 zone. We'll go outside shortly and have a look at what's going on when we get into a section that's a little bit more high speed than what we are now. We saw what happened earlier on in the episode when I was having a bit of a yak and not paying attention. Have a look at the train, its natural environment. I have mentioned before that in Train Simulator I do like being able to see my train that I'm driving and other trains pass me by as well. We're coming up to an 85 board shortly. Coming up soon on Simulated Irk, we'll also be featuring the new version of Train Sim 2, which will feature the Bakerloo Line London Underground, officially supported and in the game, and one of the highlighted trains that you can get as part of that game. I might not be making sense. It is nearly 7 AM and I'm pulling an all-nighter, but I can go to bed soon and then get up at the good time to go to my place of employment tonight. So that's all right. You now can get a London Underground train as a downloaded content, as DLC for Train Simulator. Costs about $42 Australian. You can do that. I've downloaded it quite some time ago, so I'll have to make sure that it's still in. I think I have to recopy it into the new location because I've changed hard drives and all of that sort of stuff. But I've still got the original file, so I still should be sweet. But that's a problem for future work on. That's a future problem. Might just adjust the camera angle. So that's not going to be so bad. So we'll have a look at what's going on from this end. As I said, I've loved the look of the skins. This is not the area that Avanti West Coast would operate in, but I just wanted to show off the train. I'm not necessarily concerned about showing off the route or sticking to the speed limit, it seems. Just while we have a bit of a chat and have a bit of a yak and look at the train and watch the world go by at the same time. Looking forward to London Underground getting the Train Sim World treatment. It'll be interesting, and what I'm planning to do is doing a comparison. It'll sort of be a crossover video between Train Sim World and Train Simulator, both produced by the same company, Dovetail Games. Train Sim World, the new version will be featuring American freight again. It'll be featuring German high-speed trains and also the Bakerloo Line London Underground. To launch off the second version of Train Sim World, they have
promised new user interface and all of that sort of thing, so we'll see what happens as that gets released towards the end of August 2020. It's the start of August 2020 as I record this one, and of course you can see previous episodes of Train Sim World and Train Simulator at simulator.gaming.com. I haven't kept up to date with Train Sim World or the different DLCs. There are a few that are going around that have been added since the last Train Sim World episode that I made. Wow, that's freaky, the train coming the other way. We're coming now through Sittingbourne. We're still 44 miles away from St Pancras and a good 45 minutes. I don't know if we'll do the whole journey, especially considering what the last bit is in tunnel. We'll probably just get going with this until we get into a tunnel section, and then that'll probably be it for the episode. Train Sim World coming up, Train Simulator episodes are going. I had a look at Bus Simulator 18 for the first time in ages yesterday. It was a bit laggy, but I think I was running a few programs at once, so we'll revisit that one, hopefully get Bus Simulator back up and running. Since I did the last episodes of Bus Simulator, there's been an expansion, an official expansion to the map that I'm looking forward to trying. There's been quite a few different upgrades to Fernbus. I didn't do many Fernbus episodes, so looking forward to getting back into that one. And also Tourist Bus Simulator, which promises to be... okay, I haven't been paying attention. Time to get back into the cab. Oh, we had restrictive signals against us, so the AWS, the automatic warning system, went off, but because I wasn't in the cab watching it, the train's come to a stand because I didn't acknowledge it in time, but we should be sweet now. Yes, we are. So time to get back up to speed. We've got no signals in front of us now, they're at restricted speed. So I'm looking forward to checking out Fernbus and Tourist Bus Simulator as well, for people who like their wheels to be rubber instead of metal. It's been quite some time since both Bus Simulator 18 and also Fernbus Coach Simulator came out. The Tourist Bus Simulator, need to get into that as well. There's a couple of weeks coming up, mid to late August, where there'll be quite a few episodes coming out, as I am taking some time off to recharge the batteries before going on to the next stage of my place of employment, hopefully. So, recharging the batteries, recording some simulated Erk episodes, and getting back up to speed after taking basically a year off simulated Erk. But it's been fun to be back, great to be back. There's been so many changes with the way that I'm doing things now, and also the way that things will be done in the future. We've simulated I'm in a brand new to me studio that I've set up. Needs a little bit of work just to finish things off. I've got a couple of cameras ready to come in, but we'll be doing that in a couple of weeks' time as I'm recording this. And looking forward to playing various simulators and games and that sort of stuff, and having some fun. Also, in terms of trains, there's also coming up, there's train station renovation. I think that's what it's called off the top of my head. Where we basically renovate old train stations. So that'll be a little bit interesting. I am playing Bus Mechanic Simulator with varying levels of success at the moment. For a high speed section of track, this really isn't high speed. 75 miles an hour. We've got a 90s zone coming up towards Raynham. So lots of things coming up. I've got a rather sweet monitor that I'm still working out. It's a 49-inch monitor, so I'm still working out how to use that screen to its best capacity with the tools that I'm using. Want to play some sports sims again on the Xbox connected to the PC, so that'll be fun. So what's coming up? 90 zone. Can we crank it up? We should be able to crank it up in a minute. Got green lights all the way, which is good. We'll go outside for another look. But with the exception of a little bit of uncertainty in relation to my actual place of employment, which will hopefully be solved soon, everything is going swimmingly well. I'd have to say, I'm working long hours at the moment because I am commuting 2.5-3 hours each way to get to my place of employment at the moment. But once that's fixed and I am within walking distance of my place of employment, that's going to make a huge difference. Uh-oh, I haven't been paying attention again. Back in the cab. I didn't, and that's one of the disadvantages of going out of the cab. But I'm not doing this as a serious, hey, this is how you drive a train episode. This is, how pretty is this train going through the countryside? Alright, so we've come to a stand and we can take off again. Haven't really seen much high speed running compared to the other direction so far that we had earlier on the episode. We're not on the ultra high speed section yet. More green lights coming up. Southeastern or whatever they're calling themselves this week. You've really got to oh hang on, not paying attention again, too busy having a yak and need to slow down big time. This is not high speed, folks. High speed this isn't. Now passing through Gillingham. Interesting at the moment, really simulating real life conditions in a way. When I started recording these episodes, it was early in the morning. It's now just gone after 7 AM, and because I don't have the curtains closed at the windows, I don't think the curtains will make much difference, to be quite frank. The glare coming, because I'm not usually recording at this time of the day either, sort of helps or doesn't help, as the case may be. The glare coming through the window. I get the early morning sun out of the east. And so this is really what a simulator to be like for me on night shift, because I'm coming up to the end of my shift. I've been driving in darkness for quite some time, and now the sun's up, there's glare, there's the number of high-speed trains in the opposite direction. We're obviously not on the high-speed section at the moment, only 50 miles an hour he says, but compared to what we were doing earlier on in the episode, 30? Oh, this is the overspeed. This has been, you've been a bad boy, you need to stop. Now we had this problem before. Now because I'm not qualified in this train, I don't know how to stop the noise. We're in tunnels, so that probably won't help. Let's just see what happens. No, we're not going to be able to fix this anytime. Oh, hang on. We fixed it. We just went into max brake. Have we fixed it? Yes, we have. Now, in a real train, hang on. No, we are going forwards. It gets a bit weird in a tunnel sometimes. Especially when you've got a... yeah, I've got a lot of sun glare on the screen, but I'm in a tunnel. So what I needed to do before I'm on, I need to do that. And it makes sense when you think about it. Make a full brake application, that resets the system and you can continue. But because I'm not qualified in this system, I don't know where I am, I don't know the speeds or anything, and I'm not really paying attention. This is what can happen. This is what you need good training folks. Good training, good road knowledge, good levels of experience. So easy for things to go wrong, and now I can't see hardly anything going through the tunnel. I'm still waiting for this high speed section, boys and girls, ladies and gents. 30 miles an hour, we hopefully coming up to the high speed. No, I don't think we've been over 100 miles an hour yet on this trip with this train. Done is just selected the I'm on the same route, I'm just doing it in a different way than I did it before, just in the opposite direction. Rochester, still 30 miles an hour. Got a 20 mile an hour zone coming up, 15, we're coming up to Strood, wherever that is.
Still waiting for this high speed section. A 20 and a 15, then we come into Strood. I was promised high speed, and this is not high speed that they say. I know I'm going the right way, but still got 33 miles to go until St Pancras. Not expected to be there for another 40 minutes. We won't be playing this for another 40 minutes. I suppose Train Simulator, the way this is at the moment with everything that's going on in the UK, different changes and train operators and everything, sort of like model railways. Like if you have a model train set, for instance, right, and I did as a kid, it wasn't very big or anything like that. I can remember when I was a child, before my mum and uncle got my train set mounted onto a board, I could just basically arrange the trains and the train track however I wanted. And I used to basically run on the carpet, which probably wasn't the best thing, but it's all we could do at the time until they got it mounted on some board for me. But during the school holidays, we lived in a big house when I was growing up, when I was about 4 or 5. It was basically the lounge room, and then effectively there was like a second lounge room. So in what was effectively the second lounge room, during the school holidays, now if I was either playing with my Lego set or my train set, for the whole school holidays I was able to leave it set up, which was pretty cool. Let's get outside for the moment. So we're now passing through Strood. There we go. No, I dare say the Eurostar's not on this section. It's supposedly high-speed track, and I'm doing 15 miles an hour. So I was able to leave things set up during the whole school holidays, which was fantastic. But my point relating to this game is that eventually in my train simulator, with the changes of operators and everything, and how in the UK, how in certain sections of the track you'll see lots of different operators. With a model train set, what people used to say, and people still do say, is, okay, this train set, this model train layout is, let's say, 1980 London. So what they would do is they would make sure that in 1980s London they would know which trains were running in 1980. So they'd only have trains that were historically correct for that period. Now look at this 70, we can crank it up a bit. So you wouldn't have any modern trains that were, say, 1990, or because you wouldn't be historically accurate if that's what you wanted to do. So I wonder in like Train Simulator if it's going to be the same thing, where you can go, okay, on this occasion I want to be in London in 2020, so I want to see, as I'm passing through the various stations of London, I want to see modern London Underground trains. I want to see trains such as this, such as the Azuma, that sort of speed. The HSTs are gone, that sort of thing. So you wouldn't want to see a HST, for instance. You wouldn't want to see any of the older London tube trains. You'd only want to see them. You'd only want to see the modern ones. But with all these changes of operators, that's going to be a little bit difficult as we go back into tunnel. Now there's probably people out there, and this isn't me, let's say hypothetically I'm English, okay? Now there would probably be people in the UK sim community, train sim community, who will only download UK trains, UK routes, UK scenarios and all that sort of stuff. So nothing else would probably interest them. And I know here at Train Simulator, the last few episodes have been highly UK centric, and next episode that won't be the case. That's not a bad view. How long we can keep it like that for, I don't know, but we'll see.
Oh, we're coming up to Who Junction. Who Junction is the place to be. Who Junction staff halt. We'll have to see what that looks like in a minute as we're about to pass it. Might just change the camera angle. There we go. So some people would only want to download and play UK stuff. There are other people outside the UK, for instance in America, who would probably only want to download American stuff, and you can get hyper local. You might have someone who lives in Texas, so they'll only download stuff that you could see in and around Texas, or on the West Coast or on the East Coast or whatever. You might... Okay, that was the staff halt. That was Who Junction. This is Who Junction. Welcome to Who Junction. Can we go fast after we pass through Who Junction? We might be able to go fast soon. So there might be only people who download their area. Now, in Australia for Train Sim, if I was to do that, I would not be able to play Train Simulator. I would not be able to play Train Sim World. I have downloaded Trains with a Z or a Z, depending on where you're from. And I have been able to download some Australian stuff for that, but I haven't found anywhere really nice that's accurate that I've been able to run that on. But having said that, there are games which are way higher priority than that at the moment. But I have to say, if you're in Europe, if you're in America, or North America, more to the point, and if you're in the UK and Europe, you've got a lot of things on Train Simulator that you can download that's local to you. Me, not so much. There's a new Japanese route that I'm waiting to be a little bit cheaper in price before I download that. That would be nice, but I'll wait for that to become a little bit cheaper, and I've got a lot more things that I want to do before I get to that point. So if you, geez, we really don't have any high speed coming up, have we? I think we're being forced to slow down again, are we? No, we has greens. We're good. We've got a 50, a 70, a 30, and a 70. Wowee. Okay. No high speed stuff for Homer J. Now we need to start braking. The train's telling us that we need to match the braking curve for the new speed zone coming up, and we've seemingly done that. Oh, spot on. Or not. We've got a 70 coming up. What's coming up here? Okay, the signal train. So we're following a train. That's what's happening. We've caught up to something. Oh, here we go. Need to slow down. Slow down. Wasn't paying attention to the 30. I thought the train might have beeped at me or made a noise at me before I got to this point, but it's letting me resume. I would love to see something Australian on Train Sim. Don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I don't even know where they would want to model. But also, having said that as well,
With the possible exception of the high-speed train, or maybe the QR Queensland Rail tilt trains. What have I done now? That's not happy beep. Happy beep, go quiet now. I didn't bring the train down slow enough for the train's liking, so it stopped me. If you really wanted to, you could reskin this into a Queensland Rail electric tilt train. Wouldn't be exactly right, but it's probably the closest you could get apart from a HST. There's not really a lot out there that you could modify. To be an Australian train, for instance. And me again not paying attention to what's going on in the cab. I don't like that it's throwing me in neutral to stop the train. I wouldn't be able to do that. That seems weird. And I don't have the skill or the time to do anything myself. I should have a look, but I don't think there's really anything in the train simulator universe that would necessarily convert well to being Australian, with the exception of the high-speed train. And even then, I really haven't seen anybody attempt to do that. Oh, I've got flashing yellow coming up here. So much for our high speed running. We're just about to come up to Ebbsfleet International. So we're starting to come up to the start of the real high speed section that we're on in the opposite direction, and then after that there's a lot of tunnel. So this is probably actually a really nice time to say thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. I promise no UK trains next week, and I'll treat things a little bit more seriously. But I really wanted to show you these nice trains. Links in the show notes, simulated-gaming.com, and on the description on the video on YouTube. Simulated Earth, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Don't forget to stay behind the yellow line, and don't forget the tracks are for trains.